And go ahead and bring your forearms together. So remember, with the ball treatment, different on the hands as opposed to the feet, you're sitting, and so you're really looking from your rib cage up, not necessarily the legs and that kind of a thing. So sometimes it feels like, oh, I don't get the whole thing, they'll package in, but you'll get the whole rest of the package because we'll do the rest through the rebalance sequence. So go ahead and bring those forearms up, body's chest is lifted. Close your eyes and just kind of notice what's going on, maybe in your neck, your shoulders, your mid-back, into your forearms and your hands. So your hands aren't the most important part of the upper body treatment, just like your legs or your feet aren't the most important part of the lower body treatment. It's the response that you get from it. So go ahead and inhale, just open the palms. Notice what happens if your elbows seem to pop apart, or if your hands don't feel like they open very far and close. Or even as you open your palms again, open up palms, and does that make your neck and shoulders more tight? One more time, just open out with your eyes closed. You can't even see what your hands are really doing. And then close. Now open your eyes and look at your hands and notice if your hands, as they open, they feel wide and flat, or if they feel like they're hooked into like a goblet or anything like that. Then go ahead and close the hands and then release. And even as you release, do you feel pull and release in the shoulders, the neck, the shoulders, the back, or even into the diaphragm? So take the ball and we'll just do kind of more of a grip test, and you're going to grip the ball and just kind of feel how your hand, look at your hand and how it feels. Do you have any tension? It'll pull down the forearm, in the front of the arm, or does that change anything in your neck and shoulders? And then switch and do the other side. Give it a nice little squeeze. You can do it eyes closed or eyes open. And then again, switch to this first side just to compare again, and then switch to the second side. I know I'm a little bit at an unfair advantage because I've already done a melt treatment today, and it feels pretty good in my hands. I did notice some stiffness in my upper back and shoulders from it. We are doing a primary upper back treatment today, and so you'll get a full body, more upper back, upper body treatment. So go ahead and put the ball down, or put the ball down in front of you. Place your hand right over the center in position point 1, and then just hold that ball down. And then we're going to do each individual knuckle, position point 2, starting with your index finger, going to your second finger, third finger, fourth finger, and fifth. Right at that thumb, press down, release, and then go to the heel of the hand, the center of the hand between the pads of the hand, and then the outside pad underneath the pinky finger. Go ahead and take the ball up. So after rinsing, we've opened up the knuckles, kind of made some space, and we're going to press and point with the index finger, and then the middle finger, and ring finger. And give it a little push down and pull. Notice that movement in that, even that first joint. And then pinky finger. And again, if it's difficult, you can hold the ball with the other hand, and then the thumb. So press, pull, pull, press. Good, and then pause. And then we're going to do in between each finger. So put that ball between the fingers and squeeze that ball like you're rinsing out a sponge, and release. And then the next two, squeeze the ball. I will tell you that after we did the hand treatment first, this hand does not feel anywhere near as stiff as it did when we first did the hand treatment, when I first did the hand treatment back at 4, all the way back at 4 o'clock. And then release. Good, let's take the ball down to the ground and place the ball underneath position point 3, and then we'll begin to move that ball side to side. So again, in that side to side treatment with the glide, you're looking for even and consistent pressure. And if you want to do it with your eyes closed, so you're not really thinking about is what you're doing as much, I mean, what you are thinking about with, you're not visualizing and seeing it without paying attention, see if you can notice what's going on. Close your eyes and notice that ball going back and forth. Keep those fingers relaxed on the ground, and then pause with that weight against the heel of the hand, and then back and forth. Interestingly enough, again, I'll just say this again, this feels a lot smoother side to side, like you're just kind of pushing something with the heel of your hand. Maybe go around in circles. Sounds like the lyrics to a preschool song. Maybe go round in circles and circles and circles. And so you can sing songs while you do this too, or not. Take your other hand, place it on top, give it a little bit more compression, and move that thumb back and forth. All right, I'm going to say it again. This feels better than it did the first time when I did it earlier today. So I'll say that sometimes after you do a treatment, you may not notice that your body's responding. It may feel stiff, sore, and tired still. And then within a period of time after, your body is actually releasing that. You have more movement and more ease in that position. So go ahead and take that ball. We're going to start the pinky hand and we're just going to rinse. Remember, rinsing, even though it seems like it's just the top of this one hand, you're also rinsing the bottom or the palm of the other hand. So 2 passes. You can go in between the fingers or on top of the fingers twice, whatever is up to you. And then we'll go friction. And then pause. Good. We can take and just do a real good reference for the hands. Open up and notice if that forearm, the elbow feels a little bit looser. Close your eyes. Feels like there's less pressure tension in the neck and shoulders. And then release. Good. Let's do the other hand. Press down. So we're right over the center of the hand. Press straight down. And then release. Go to the pinky finger for position point pressing, the ring finger, the middle finger, the thumb, and the index finger, which I did out of order, which I didn't do out of order, but I said out of order. Go to position point 3 behind the index finger, press down. Position point 4 in between the 2 pads, and position point 5. Good, and press down nice and even. Good. Let's go ahead and do the press pull, push and press, push, press, push, press. Do 3, 2, and last one, and then about 3 or 4 on this next finger. I got a soft spot on my ball. It feels kind of weird. 3, 2. It's like I got a soft spot in my heart for you guys too. Just like that. And then your pinky, and then your thumb. Good. And let's give that little squeeze in between the fingers. Now, of course, this is always done to your pressure ability. So you're never trying to go past what you have the ability for. So you're not trying to find pain, in other words, and then release. Take that ball down, start at position point 3, and then move that ball back and forth. Now in melt, the theory is to get in and get out. So I was asked earlier today, like, how many times should you do this? And it's like, well, probably less than you think and more than maybe you want to. So thinking about 5 times would probably be about minimum going back and forth, but maybe not more than 20 times. So something in that range in there. And each time it could be a little different. You're wanting consistent and even pressure. Go ahead and pause, take the other hand on top, and you're going to up and down for your shear. You can see that I'm just kind of moving my hand back and forth to the side, back and forth, giving a little twisting. And then if you want to go in a little circle, you can, but you're not making balls of Play-Doh or anything like that. It's just kind of around in circles. Then again, put that hand on top and you're moving that thumb back and forth. Good. Go ahead and pause and release, and let's rinse that hand. Now you're going to be happy when we get those legs out from back underneath you, because your feet have been squished underneath your knees and your hips, and it'll feel real nice to get those legs out. Let's do a friction and then pause. Go ahead and take that ball in your hand, or put that ball between the knees. Let's go and put the forearms together and open those palms out. Even though, so I can open my hands now wider and further. There is some tensional pull in my forearms, but I feel like I'm allowing myself to actually go deeper into this open stretch. And even as I open my fingers out, I feel like I have more range. Go ahead and close your hands, close your eyes, open and close the hands a few more times, and just notice how that movement comes into the shoulders and the neck and the forearms. Release the arms. Try that grip strength again, and then feel that pressure into the hand. Notice if you feel any tension down into the forearm. Breathing, and then the other side. And really with the grip, you're really just looking for grip strength, and you're really looking for any of that tension coming down into the forearm. Good. Go ahead and put the balls away, and then we'll start with a rest assess. You want to toss me one of those rollers there too? Either one, whichever one's not yours. That's okay. Maybe they need you. Maybe that is a good thing. So let's lay back for the rest assess, laying yourself all the way back on the ground. Arms drop out nice and even. And take a big deep breath in through your nose and exhale. And of course, if you need to at any time, make sure you take some water. Sips of water are important because you are hydrating the tissue. You want some hydration in line with the tissue. Laying back on your back, close your eyes. And without making any judgments or assessments, real quickly, just allow yourself to settle into the ground. Let that belly fill. Let that belly soften. And then just begin at your head and notice the weight of your head as it rests back into the ground. If it feels more level to the ground or feels off center in any way, and to the right and to the left. And notice any cricking, cracking, or any areas of tension or pulling. Go ahead and keep those eyes closed and just take your attention into that first area that's stuck to live in the neck and the shoulders. The shoulder girdle is kind of bordered by the front at the chest and the back by the scapula and down the arms. Notice that the arms feel evenly weighted to the ground. If you feel even across your shoulder blades. And as you take that breath in and out, if you feel that evenness as you breathe, not all the weight rises to the top of your shoulders, but maintains its even opening through the rib wall. That second in its stress for multiple reasons. One, because we hold our breath a lot. Two, because of pressure and tension, both work from the position that we sit in at work or wherever we sit, and also necessarily you're doing their thing all the time anyway, and stress anything. There's stress from overwork, there's stress from lack of work, there's stress from oxygen and not having enough oxygen or anything. You can get some compression or some pressure into that diaphragm area as well. Notice the pelvis as you take your down into the pelvis, if the butt cheeks feel more evenly weighted, if one side feels more pressure than the other, if the hamstrings feel off the ground or if they feel more connected into the floor, and how do the feet feel? Do the feet feel like they're dropping east and west very easily? Dividing the body in half with that big deep breath. Notice the right and left sides distinct from each other. Notice if your right side or your left side feels than the other, or press the ground like heavier weighted to the other side. Ideally, you should feel weighted hands to shoulders, shoulders to hips to heels, inside and out. But that doesn't always happen. So that reflexive posture can get turned off. It can get turned off by stress, by lack of hydration, by over movement and over tension in the body from one thing or another. So just be aware of it. Go ahead and slide those feet in so the shins are vertical. We're going to begin with balance sequence. So go ahead and bring that roller to one side, bring up one hip, and then let's roll up on top of the roller. Slide those arms out to guide yourself all the way back and begin to do a gentle rocking to your right and to your left. Now remember, with gentle rocking, the roller is in line with the spine the entire time. The roller's not rolling your back. The roller's rolling with you as you gently rock to the right and to the left. And one of my favorite things about the melt process and the melt practice is just that it's a gentle practice. It's a soft and settled practice. A gal that I know from years past in the fitness industry asked me if I wanted to rep another roller. And I was like, oh, you obviously don't know what I'm involved with right now. Which is sweet and everything. And so I was like, no, I'm using the melt technique right now. And that's kind of where I'm gravitating forward, because partly the main part that I really enjoy about that melt roller is its softness, its ease along the spine, and its ease to move within. Where the other rollers are just hard, and they're hard on purpose to push against. And I want my body to not have to be pushed so hard all the time. So letting your body rock side to side And then pause in the center. Let's take the hands to the belly. The thumbs rest on the navel. The fingertips touch at the top of the pelvis. Inhale. Exhale. Shh. And tuck the pelvis. Inhale again. And exhale, tilt. Shh. Again, inhale. Exhale, tuck. Shh. And inhale. Exhale, tilt. Shh. 2 more. Inhale. Exhale and tuck. Shh. Once more. Inhale. And exhale, tilt. Shh. Pause. Take your right hand to your chest. Leave your left hand on your belly and begin to breathe into your left hand, which is on your belly. Just a nice, quiet, but deep breath. Inhale again to your belly. Then inhale into the space between the right hand and the left. And then breathe, not into your hand on your right hand, but feel the back expand onto the roller. Now, for some of you, that pulls and that creates tension in those upper, the tricep, or sorry, the trapezius, maybe the diaphragm. So release some of that tension by not breathing so deep. Slide your hands down to your rib wall. Let your elbows rest on the ground and inhale the width of your rib cage. Think of the hands moving out and away, and then down and in, and then up and out and away, and then down and in. Good. Go ahead and pause. Open those arms out, kind of like a big W, so your elbows are still touching the ground. You might feel some pull in the front of the shoulder. And then reach the arms out and away from the midline of the body, not raising the arms towards the head, just out and away. And think of almost holding a ball on your belly. And then from there, begin to gently bend and curl the wrists. Now the elbow is still slightly bent, so you're not at a fully straight arm. So you can have some what's called, again, there's several ways to find tensional pull. We did it earlier today with different movements, not necessarily from this double arm extended position. Just bend and straighten the wrists and maybe slowly bend the wrist back a little further. Curl the wrist in a little further. And then throw kind of like a ball towards your left hand and throw and catch a ball in your right hand and throw, almost a quicker move. Quick and catch and pull back. Close your fingertips over the top of your belly button, arms extended out, and then open those hands as if you're opening a big ball across your belly. And then close and grab underneath that ball, almost hugging. And then inhale, open. And exhale, close. One more time, inhale, open. And exhale, close. And then reach the fingertips away from your shoulder and then pull the shoulders back around the roller. And reach away and pull in. So you're thinking of the back side of your arm as drawing down towards the ground, not up towards your shoulders. Just drop and grab around with the shoulder blades and reach. So you've got a little scapular retraction here, and then you're reaching out and pulling back. It's a great concept to get, especially when you're moving any weight or any load of anything, to move from the scapula more so than just moving from the arm or the elbow. Reach out here, and now take your arms, both of them simultaneously, for double arm circles all the way up and around the head, bringing the fingertips or the pinky tip to the thigh, and then again, thumb towards the head, circle around, exhaling as you bring your hands to your thighs. Inhale, take those arms up. Exhale, circle around. And inhale up. And circle around. Once more, inhale, take those arms up and overhead, reach, circle around. Take your hands down by your side and just let your arms drop. Open your arms a little bit wider than your mat's width, so your fingertips reach out at a diagonal away from your ears. Lift the chin up towards the ceiling like you're going to look over your eyebrows, and then turn your head to your right shoulder. From that right shoulder, reach through that left arm, as if the reach comes out of that left ear all the way down to the left index finger. Big deep breath, inhale, exhale. Inhale, bring your head center. Turn your head to your left shoulder, reach through your right arm. I know you can't see me here. My right arm is hidden, but I'm reaching. Reach out. Feel that length up and down the thumb into maybe the forearm, maybe the triceps. Inhale. Head back to center one more time. Keep that chin elevated and tilt the head over to your right. If your chin drops, you're going to kind of lose that pull out of the left ear. Inhale. Head is center and then over to the left. Reach through the right arm. And then inhale and head is center. Let the elbows bend, let the hands come down by your side, and then just slide one leg out from under that roller out from underneath you. And let's come and rest, reassess. Arms are out nice and wide, head and shoulders are back. And I want you to take your attention not to your upper body, but to your lower body, your hips, your hamstrings, your calves, your feet. And just notice if that feels more evenly weighted to the ground first. Yeah, we were on your hips, but the primary feeling of the rebalance tends to be in the upper back and shoulders. So that would be an indirect change if there's more balance and surrender kind of in the lower half. And then more of a direct change would be, of course, your shoulders, your neck. If you turn your head to the right and to the left, do you notice more ease of movement in the neck? And then kind of the midline, of course, would be kind of another area of change. You feel it into your rib cage, into your pelvis. Not that your whole mid back is compressed to the ground, but your back just feels even and level. Take a big deep breath, slide your feet in so your shins are vertical. Let's shift your weight to one side and bring yourself up. And we're going to come and bring that roller to the upper back. So I want the roller underneath the shoulder blades with the arms first reaching out towards the side of the knees. Lift the hips up, tuck the pelvis as strong as you can so your pelvis is coming underneath so you're not arched into your tailbone, but curl that pelvis, take your hands behind your back or behind your head. And let's do a real quick rib length assessment. So again, in the rib length assessment, the ribs need to stay down, and it's just really from your ribs to your upper back. So again, it's never about that head dropping back, but about becoming more even and level on the top of that roller. And then bring yourself up a little bit, tilt to your right side. So if you can see me here, if you pick your head up, if you're laying down, if you can see that I'm not curled over in any way, my elbows are wide and open, so I'm getting this beautiful length, this stretch up my left rib wall. And then inhale, come to center, and then open up to the right side. Big opening on that right rib wall. Big deep breath, and let's do it again. Tilt over to your right, feel the opening, and breathe into your left rib wall. And then tilt over and tilt to your right side or left side and feel the opening your left rib wall. And then come back to center and hold. You're going to lift your hips up, drop both hips to your left. Let your right foot stack on top of your left. Keep your right hand behind your head and take your left arm out. And let's start with that single arm reach towards your knee. So most of your weight is on your left shoulder, left scapula. Your weight is sinking into your left hip, so your right arm is kind of fairly even and fairly released. Reach and pull, so you're scratching kind of underneath that shoulder. Good, reach here, then just bring your left elbow up and over the roller and then back towards the ground. Pull up and over, nice, and back towards the ground. Up and over, get that length and back to the ground. One more time, up and over, and then back to the ground. Now we're gonna kind of have that hand right there. You're just gonna roll over and let your head rest on that hand. Top hand stays behind your head. And then you're gonna drop your shoulder and lift your rib cage. Pull your rib cage up, drop your shoulder. So we're getting the outside of the shoulder now a little bit more specifically. Breathing, do 2 more. And last one. Good. Press up and into that roller. Take the hand off and you're just going to move the elbow up and down. Kind of like when you used to like drive in the car and ask the truckers to pull their horn. Do 4, 3, breathe. And last one, pause. Take your hand behind your head. Let's lift the right knee up, roll back on the back. Good. And then we're going to shift and let's go to your right hip. So your left cheek is off the ground. Right hand is forward. Make sure your head and weight is resting. And let's circle that right hand. Good. Pull up into your right shoulder. Try not to move your left side of your body at all and just really work that right arm as you reach forward and around. Do 2 more. And last one, reach around. Now take that right arm up and over and then back. Breathe. So you're not building tension in the neck or the shoulders. So I'm going to adjust just a little bit so I'm not completely off center in the camera. So what I want you to do is you're going to roll though just over onto your right hand. And so you're going to roll towards that right hand. Left hand stays behind the head. It's almost like you're taking a little here on this side. Hand is underneath your head, top hand is behind your head. Drop into the shoulder and press up. Breathing. So you can see how my rib cage is kind of lifting and expanding on the top side, and then I'm pushing with my lower shoulder, letting my head rest back into my upper hand, so I'm not letting my head hang. A couple more, and last one, pause, and then just kind of pull the elbow up and down. Good, and then pause, bring your hand back behind your head, and then let's just roll back onto the back. I'm all spun around like I've done 360 here. Now, so we're going to do that rest, or we're going to do that rib length assessment again. Bring those arms out in line with the knees. Good. Take your hands back around behind your head. Lift and tuck the pelvis. And again, keep the ribs down, but see the lowering over the roller. And just breathe into that space. And then bring the head up just a tiny bit. Tilt to the right and just notice if you have a little bit more opening. Tilt to the left. Breathing, that feels nice. And then pause in the center. Good, so we're gonna do a whole nother position. So we're gonna move to the front line of the body as well. So we're gonna do the shoulders and the chest, but we're gonna start with the center of that sternum. I'm gonna move my mic just a little bit. I'm gonna move it up. We'll see if that works. I'm gonna move it down. A little more awkward there. Not gonna work either. I didn't really consider this, what I was gonna do. So we'll start in the center. I'll probably have to move my mic a couple of times, so I apologize for all the noise. And we're going to get onto the roller. So start with your left hip on the ground or right, and then just kind of roll yourself up onto the roller gently. So again, everything is a gentle movement so that you're not overextending the back and the shoulders and so on. And you want to kind of be knees on the ground and line it up so that your chin settles with the center of the top of the roller and your hands are easily and evenly to each side of the roller. And then begin to just rock from side to side. So gentle rocking, just like you would if you were on your back. Breathing. And you may feel the top of the pelvis on the roller. You may feel your rib cage. And then, of course, if you have very tight bra, it may not be comfortable. If you have something a little bit looser, you should feel the weight of your sternum against the roller. Go ahead and pause, inhale, and then exhale. Sink into the roller. Inhale, pull your head away from the top of the roller. And then exhale, sink back. One more time, inhale, pull your head back. And then exhale. Good, go ahead and pause. You're gonna slide one hand out, and then we're gonna take that roller so it's on your right collarbone. So it's underneath the collarbone, but above the chest. And I just want you to let that roller settle there. Your left hand, if it's on your right hand, is bent, and your right hand, or the same side, is kind of behind the roller. You can bend the knee, and then you're just gonna roll back and forth. You can lift the hips up. You can kind of see how this is a little bit of an awkward position to get into, but it's really opening for the chest and for the sternum. Back and forth. Breathing. So I'm kind of lifting my hips up. If that's just uncomfortable for you, you can just kind of lay your chest over the roller and push your chest into the roller. 2 more. And last one. So you're going to lay your chest over the roller. Again, it's not pressing up against the center of the breast. It's below the collarbone, though. And then you're going to turn towards the left shoulder and then pin the skin in and move side to side. There you go. Nice, nice. Good. Side to side. So you're opening up that tissue, the pectoralis muscle, as it attaches into the front head of the shoulder, the biceps area, off the femur. 2 more. I'm so femur. Yeah, all the way up there. It's just a lot of attachments in the body. You don't even know. You don't even know. I went to school for this stuff. To the top of the arm, the humerus. Thank you very much for Bev not completely laughing whenever I talk about anatomy. And then pause. It's been a long day. All right. Good. Pause, hold. And then let's release. And then let's take the roller to the other side. Again, I'm going to move my mic just so it's not in the way of, my apologies for the cracking and popping sounds. Good. And then again, right up underneath the collarbone, and then bring your right knee up, right hand up, and then you're just going to roll back and forth. Good. Very often when our back and neck hurts, we kind of go to another side. Maybe our chest is really tight. 2 more. Good. And then pause. Again, look at your right hand, pin the skin, and then move back and forth. So pulling the skin almost away from the left shoulder. Breathing. 2 more. And pause. Good. Go ahead and just release. You're going to come up. Let's take that roller behind, and we're going to do a rinsing of the upper back. So we typically do that rinsing, and after we've done all that pinning of the shoulders. So start with that roller at the very top of the shoulders. Lift those hips up as high as you can. Keep the head steady, and then press your upper back into the roller. Good. So my knees are almost straight. I'm almost kind of a scooped out J. And then bend the knees. And then lift the hips up high towards the ceiling as best is comfortable for you. And then push your mid back into the roller, ending about lower rib line. One more time, lift up. And then again, push back into the roller. Good. From there, we're almost at the place where you would do rib length assessment again. So you might as well get there. Check those hands. Lift and tuck the pelvis. Hands behind the head. And lower over the roller. Good. You may notice you have a lot more movement. And then come back up. And then tilt to the right. Breathe. And even the rib wall might feel more open. And tilt to the left. Good. And then let's come back to center. We're going to go right onto the back of thigh shear. Take that roller. Go right into the back of the thigh shear. So we release the lower back a little bit, laying back. So the roller should be about mid-back. And we're going to just open and close, in and out with those legs. So again, think of the movement as not coming from the top of the legs or even from the feet, but the hips are moving and the muscle is pulling against the bone. Breathing. The heels can be on the ground, or can be off the ground. 2 more, in and out. You know, sometimes you're just like, my arms are just kind of hanging in space, like, why are they there? And I realize I have to put them down. Pause, just let them rest for a second, and let's just do one leg. So again, think of maybe kind of like you're rolling the thigh in, or you're moving in, the toe goes in, the toe comes out. So you get a little more outer thigh, a little bit more inner thigh, especially when we do one leg at a time. And then just do the other leg. Roll that foot in and out and feel the movement of that roller kind of pressing against the thigh against the bone, and then the bone working inside that joint a little bit. Last one. Good. And then just pause. Take a nice big deep breath. And then slide the feet in. And let's finish with a reassessment of the entire back line. Take the arms out, let the head rest back, take a big deep breath, and exhale. And just kind of notice the whole back line of the body, the shoulders, the head, the ribs, the pelvis, even the hamstrings, of course. They may feel a little bit kind of electrical because you've just been pulling and pressing them. How about the feet? Do they feel more released and relaxed? Divide that body in half. And release the breath. Notice if that right and left sides feels a little bit more even, a little bit more balanced. Good. Slide your feet in so those shins are vertical.